Hey guys, I'm the Cyborg Sheep, and real quick before this video starts, I'd like to point out that a few things. First of all, sorry I didn't upload anything last week. I was busy with my birthday. Didn't really have any time to, much time to record videos. I did record this video last weekend, just didn't get a chance to upload it. So second of all, I finished my exams last Friday, and I'd like to congratulate anybody who had exams this week and finished them all. Give yourself a pat on the back, I guess. Also, sorry for the bad video quality in some of the computer parts. My video or screen recorder was being kinda weird or something. Maybe I think the thing didn't compile right or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'll see you dudes in this video. Hey guys, I'm the Cyborg Sheep, and welcome to the Weekend Post. Just in case you're wondering, that's what I plan to call the new series. This is gonna be the scheduled series from now on, and this is gonna go on throughout my channel. But anyway, so today we're going to be continuing on the series, The Lego System Explained. In this episode, we're going to do Mindstorms. So let's get into that. However, guys, before I start, I'd like to mention that this weekend is my birthday, or the weekend that we're celebrating my birthday. So this will be the least amount of videos I'll probably ever put out per weekend. Pretty much because we're going to be having family in town, and we'll be celebrating this weekend. But I don't know, it'll be fine. But anyways, without further ado, let's get on to reviewing the Mindstorm system. Alright, so the basics of Mindstorms is you have this brick, and there's lots of names for this thing. ev3 brick, brain, whatever you want to call it. And this brick, you can write up simple little drag and drop programs to control these motors. And then you can also use these to improve accuracy of the motors. So then you could say, like, you're doing these inputting to the brain, and then this turning the signal into power to these motors. So let's go over everything that I have so far in plain English. Alright, so before I start, I'd like to also mention all of these minus this came in a set. This was Lego Mindstorm set 31313. And this is mostly all of the contents that it had in it. There was also a big selection of gears and Technic pieces also, but so here we have a large motor. There's two of these, and what's special about these motors is they're not. What makes them different from the power functions motors is, well, of course they look different, but this motor actually has an encoder in it. Basically what an encoder is it tells you, or it can send signals to this brain, how much this point here, this red thing here, has been turned. And then it's the same for this as well. This is a Lego Mindstorms M motor. and it's just a little bit smaller. So it's the power of these, however, a little bit smaller, I guess you could say. So here are the sensors. So here we have a touch sensor, pretty much basically button on or off sort of thing. Then we have this color sensor, and what this color sensor does is it can detect different light levels or different colors, or it can do a whole bunch of stuff. And then related to light. And then there's also this infrared sensor. Now this infrared sensor, what it does is it's kind of like the your TV remote. Basically, when you press buttons on this remote, this can take in the signals and tell this brain what to do. And then also it has this it's also can serve as a distance sensor. The way that works is now here's what confuses me about this. There should be two LEDs, because the deal with distance sensing and infrared LEDs is a regular LED sends out light and then it bounces back into an infrared LED. But as you can see, there's only one infrared LED. So I guess it's this is a bit more special than a regular infrared LED. But yeah, that's using this remote to control your mindstorms. And then here we have a bunch of cables. There's three types: 50 centimeter, 35 centimeter, and I believe it was 25 centimeter, I think. But yeah, so next let's go over how these work. Alright, so if we turn the ev3 brick on here, you do that by pressing and holding this button, and you'll know you've done things correctly because this red light will be on and it'll say mindstorms and starting. And then it's loading up everything, getting things checked and calibrated, and then eventually this light will turn off. Yep. Then you'll hear the sound, and this LCD screen will show up, and it'll show you this. There's 4 sections in here. We have easy access to programs, file selection. This is a bunch of manual things. So like there's port view. Well, this is basically for checking motors and testing motors and stuff like that. And then we have settings. So let's go over this, and then I'll go over these last two later. So let's hook up some motors, and I'll show you how they. Alright, so first, before I tell you anything though, just a little bit of overview of what ports do what. So these that you're looking at currently are sensor ports, and the ev3 brick has 4 of these. Sensor ports take in varying signals from, well, these sensors right here, like these. And then on the back we have these are motor ports, and the ev3 has 4 of these as well. Oddly enough though, the set only comes with 3, which I think is kind of strange, but I guess it's just to keep the cost down. So this right here is your basic IR or brick buttons control setup. So we have our M motor, our two large motors all plugged into motor ports, and we have our infrared receiver plugged into the fourth sensor port. So if I click motor control, you can see that this comes up on the screen, and this is for controlling A. As you can see, A is blacked in now, and then these are for controlling D. Oh, well, I mean, I don't have anything on D right now. And then when you press this, that flips them from controlling A and D to B and C. And I have those wired up to my two large motors. And also you can have IR control by doing this. So I'm pressing the first button, second button, that's backwards, fourth button, and third button. And then obviously also something that's really good about the infrared remote, I think it's also the same for things. You can have two motors running at the same time, which is kind of cool. But anyways, so this is your basic, would be your basic robot system for infrared control. So you'd have these two large motors doing like tank controls, and then you'd have this motor for any attachments. And that's basically the mindstorms system in a nutshell. So now I'm going to show you dudes all sorts of applications you can use these for. So, and there's a lot. I'll only go over 3, but there's a whole ton of stuff you can use this with. So let's get into that. Alright, so this is the basic setup for a IR control sort of configuration. So as you can see on the back here, I have a infrared sensor, and that is hooked up to one of the ev3's sensor ports, and that'll be receiving signals from this remote. Also, I have two motors on tank controls. Basically what that is the two large motors are on ports A and B, motor ports A and B, and basically there's this block in programming which is tank controls, so that's where you get that sort of port configuration from. And then this A and this M motor is on port A. So as you can see, so what I decided to do here was, instead of building a different model to show you different concepts, I'm just going to use one model, and there's a ton of different attachments for this thing. This is just a basic no attachment. As you can see here, I don't have any attachments on this M motor, is what that's used for. And I have this infrared receiver on the back. But so if I put the camera down, you can see I can kinda move around a little bit here. And then also this board, that's just off the back of the box. And yeah, but so you can just kind of drive around, and pretty fun, I must say. I just replaced the batteries in this thing, is like so powerful right at the moment. And yeah, so that's my first example. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so here is another example of what you may want to do, or another example of what you may want to do with this is, well, add attachments to it. As you can see, I've added this shooting attachment. So I'll put the camera down, and I can shoot these little Zamor spheres, and of course I can still drive around. But anyways, so I've added this shooting attachment, which basically what it does is there's this motor here which turns this gear, and that turns this gear, which drives a pin into this ball holder, and then that ball holder applies enough force to the thing to launch it out, sort of. So I'll demonstrate that here. So as you can see, there's the system in action. It's just kinda, yeah. But there's that, and let's move on to the next attachment. Also, one thing that you may want to do is, as you can see here, I have this, there's this light that's flashing red, and there's this thing up on the LCD screen. Well, you can't see it, but it says tracker. That's the name of this thing. And what I have it doing currently is I have it on this Bluetooth control. So, the Bluetooth control actually has a bit more accurate of commands. So I can put the camera down, and so I can kind of, if I pull this lever up, you can see that I can control each of the motors independently and at different speeds. And also I have this thing here that is a shooting, there's these two shoot buttons. One is for shooting straight, and the other one is for shooting up. So if I kind of drive it back, and then drive it over, I can press either of these buttons and it will fire. So I hit the shoot straight, and now I can hit also the shoot up. The one difference is one button turns it one way, the other turns it the other way, and so when it's like this, the pin is being driven in while this blasting cage is down. When it's driven the other way, the blasting cage is up, so it's shooting out, like up and over. And yeah, but look, there's actually going to be quite a lot of examples. This next one, we're going to make a program. I'll hop on the computer and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so the next example of what you might want to do is, well, program your ev3. I've copied this real simple program from, I believe he goes by the name of Magic Monk. And real simply, what it does is, it checks the color sensor, and it's on a compare of reflected light intensity, RLI for short, and if it's if the threshold is greater, I think greater than or less than 49, which you get 49 by comparing the number of I think by adding the number of your ground to number of your line, and then you get this, and then divided by 2, it gives you this number, or well, yours will be different, but mine is this. It'll be either so if it is equal to that, it will turn right, and if it's not, it'll turn left. And yeah, I'll be sure to leave a link to his description of the guy who made this in the link. But yeah, so let's download it to our ev3 and try it out. And here's the program in action. So if I press this middle button, it should start following this red line that's on this board right here. So let's try it out. And this is, oh man, this is cool. It's all being done automatically. That's cool. Not the most accurate ever, but it works. And now it's just going crazy. But yeah, so there's some examples. So now let's hop online and see, and I'll show you dudes what I can, or rather, what parts I don't have from this system. Alright, so here is a list of all the mindstorms elements officially released for this mindstorms era. So first we have our mindstorms kit here. This is used for this is the home edition. There is a core edition, the which is meant for schools. Next we have our ev3 intelligent brick. As you can see here, we have the 4 sensor ports in the bottom, and this is what controls all your sensors and motors and all kinds of stuff. Next we have our ev3 rechargeable DC battery. This is enables this not to need 6 AA batteries. Instead, you recharge this. This goes on your ev3 brick once, and then whenever its power is out, you just toss this transformer into it. Next, we have our Inferred Seeker. This is basically this is NXT's version of this. So next we have our NXT DC rechargeable battery, which is for this intelligent brick, so that it doesn't need thing. Also, next we have our ev3 color sensor and our ultrasonic sensor. This sends out sonar pings and waits for them to come back. And next we have our gyro sensor. What this this gyro sensor, it measures the it measures angles. So what this is really useful for is balancing. So like if your robot leans, you want to say turn these motors on so it stays upright. So next we have our infrared beacon. That's for use with this, and you had a choice. You could either get this and this with the core set, or this and this with the home set. Well, anyways, next we have our transformer for charging up these batteries, our color sensor, our large servo motor, our medium servo motor. Difference between these two is, I guess, well, this fits in spaces where this doesn't, plus I guess it's an extra motor. Next we have our ev3 touch sensor and our NXT touch sensor. Then we have our light sensor. The difference between these two guys is this has 3 functions, this has 2. The thing that this has is instead of saying measure this amount of light, you can say measure green or blue or whatever color. Instead of saying a certain amount of light. But yeah. So, and this also has ambient light, which basically measures the light level of things. So next, we have our ev3 cable back, our infrared link, and our NXT intelligent brick. That's for use with all these. And of course, all of these elements are compatible with each other, unlike power functions. And yeah. So, that's pretty much everything to do with ev3. However, there's this thing going on right now. The biggest thing that's going around on the internet right now is using your ev3 intelligent brick or your NXT intelligent brick to control power functions. So, if you remember in the last episode, is it Technic? Power functions, maybe? Power functions. Hello? So if you remember this extension wire, so this takes power functions to 9 volts. This is one of the more easier ways. Well, it's kind of up in the air of that this was actually a thing that you could go from 9 volt to or from power functions to 9 volts, and so the others to connect this again does not connect. However, if I look NXT CONVERSION CABLE. So yeah. So this right here, this is a 9 volt plug. So basically what you'll do is you'll hook up that 9 volt wire to this conversion cable. It's what it's called. This was included in the one of the Mindstorms NXT sets. So this goes from 9 volt then to mindstorms. So basically, you've got a method to control your power functions there. So and then there's some sort of system in here which gives, takes out some wires from here, because there's, in comparison to these two, this one has, this one has, 2 wires. This has, I believe, like 6 wires or something like that. So there's something with the resistors and soldering that you gotta do in between there. So that's for, housing the two wires to convert it. So you'll say power function is conversion cable to 9 volt, then 9 volt to NXT. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. So glad that you dudes have come down to your one-stop shop for everything. You name it. ev3, sensors, motors, NXT, controlling power functions. You name it, I'll do it. Obviously, nothing stupid. Hit that like button if you liked it, or the dislike button and suggest something else I could do. And, yeah, in the next episode, we'll go over pneumatics, which is a system that is included in the Mercedes-Benz Aerox. But I'll see you dudes in the next episode.